Welcome to Medication TV. I have a very big and impact making breaking news today. All learners and educators must welcome the major initiatives coming from the United Nations of 195 countries. UN announces Transforming Education Summit in September 2022. The UN Secretary General has announced the convening of a summit on transforming education in September 2022. The Transforming Education Summit will take place during the 77th session of the UN General Assembly in September 2022. It aims to mobilize political ambition, action, solidarity and solution with a view to transform education between now and 2030. The summit, convened by the UN Secretary General, aims to take stock of efforts to recover pandemic-related learning losses, reimagine education systems for the world of today and tomorrow, and revitalize national and global efforts to achieve SDG 4, that is quality education for all. The main expected outcomes are national and international commitments to transform education, greater public engagement around and support for transforming education, a Secretary General summary and call to action which will capture the knowledge and commitment generated by the summit and its preparatory process. On 10th November, at the launch event for a report by the UNESCO, Guterres said education is key to resolving many of the global and local challenges we face. Noting that the 2030 agenda calls for all people to have access to lifelong learning opportunities that will help them acquire the knowledge and skills needed to exploit opportunities and to participate fully in society. Guterres said that today's education systems are no longer fit for purpose. The UNESCO report titled Reimagining Our Futures Together, a new social contract for education, was developed over 2 years by the International Commission on the Futures of Education and is based on wide global consultation. It calls for transformation to both repair past injustice and build capacity to improve. The report aims to foster a contract between parents, children and educators. The report also recalls that public education was created to support specific objectives, that is citizenship and development. Today's challenges and risks mean that education must be reinvented and the knowledge it provides must be anchored in social, economic and environmental justice. Among its recommendations, the author suggests that teaching focus less on individual accomplishment and more on cooperation, collaboration and solidarity. Meanwhile, curricula should be more interdisciplinary rather than organized by different subjects. It should also emphasize intercultural and ecological learning. Guterres said that UNESCO report is a launching pad and its finding will be built on the lead up to the summit. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres will appoint a special coordinator to lead preparation for the event. Preparatory process is already on. The UNESCO has already held a pre-summit conference of 3 days from 28th to 30th June 2022. Here is a short presentation. This pre-summit was attended by more than 150 education ministers. We, the Mount Fortian Education Foundation, is a part of this process in many ways, including online participation at the UNESCO. Many side events are taking place across the world, all leading to the UN Summit in September. Listen to the words of welcome by the UNESCO's Assistant Secretary General for Education in one of these side events.
I'm sure you remember it was an impressive response from member states, more than 140 countries being there to adopt the Marrakesh Framework for Action, which is supposed to actually design the roadmap for the next decade. It's an ambitious document, as we need. It's an ambitious document which offers a vision, which offers a concrete roadmap and an action plan, I would say. And I see in this document a real, aspiration, ambition, and vision in action, so to say. I think that the topic of this summit is very much fitting on this discussion we are having in this first side event of the day. It's about transformation, as you know, how we can transform education and how through transforming education we can transform society. And I think that one of the key questions for our debate during this pre-summit, which is leading up to New York, is what does transformation look like? And Confinter 7 produced already valuable ideas, valuable insight to build our response. Let me pick up some points, at least in my understanding, my personal view of the importance of this framework for action. It's about the vision. Transformation actually must be visionary, first of all, and embrace a right to lifelong learning, creating a real culture of lifelong learning, as we said and repeat many times during the discussion in Marrakesh. Transformation must also be a collective effort. Innovation is more at individual level, I would say. Individuals can innovate, but then to transform, you need a collective taking responsibility together. And creating ecosystems for making things happen on the ground. Transformation finally must place the learner, when it comes to education, at the center of the process and recognize the key and evolving role of educators and teachers. And this is another important component of the framework of Marrakesh. Finally, I say transformation is also about investing more public resources in education, building on something which is already existing in some countries. We saw the good example of Morocco, which not by chance taking the leadership of this process, but of course it's about sustainability of funds. It's about also the international community helping to push for this part of the agenda. And maybe from this summit, expectations are that while we are leveraging the importance of foundational learning, that the lifelong learning dimension will not be left behind. This is the framework, this is the agenda you have, and unfortunately I cannot stay beyond these few words of welcome to all of you. It's a very intensive day for us as a Secretariat, but let me first, before leaving, really warmly thank ministers who are here, Minister of Education of Brazil, of Finland, of Mauritania, the Deputy Education Minister of Indonesia, and also, really last but not least, once again, the President of the General Conference, Ambassador Irazabal Murao, for being present today, but also for being very much actively present in Marrakesh with all of you. I hope really that the outcome of this discussion can be also brought from this building, from this room first to the pre-summit plenary, and then from UNESCO and the Secretariat to the summit in New York. I thank you very much. I wish you a great discussion, David.
During the coming 2-3 months, numerous events are going to take place across the world on transforming education for our times. As educators, educational institutions and educational agencies, let us be engaged with the global process so that we may all profit by this major initiative in education. This is Rajini signing off. See you next time with some more interesting news.